Welcome back. Let's chat now about our #1 trending ticker on the Yahoo Finance site, and that is Square. Square set to buy Afterpay in a large all-stock deal worth nearly $30 billion. We're joined now by Paul Golding, Macquarie Capital Senior Equity Research Analyst of U.S. Lifestyle and Payments. So, Paul, Afterpay, just for those who don't know, perhaps have not been doing any online shopping lately, which I think actually has been all of us. It does help consumers buy now, essentially, and pay later. I'm curious to know what you think this is telling us right now in this deal about where Square is seeing some of these e-commerce trends and also the potential growth that might exist there even after the pandemic is over.
Well, it's great to be with you. I think this is a clear signal that Square is sending that the e-commerce boom that we've seen through the pandemic is expected to continue. Online has been a big piece of their business as they pivoted at Square to offering more virtual terminal services. And buy now, pay later is a product that we've seen time and time again drive larger basket sizes on online purchases, but also in person. And I think this is the opportunity for Square, as management highlighted on in the materials and on the call, is to expand basket size and conversion across seller and Cash App ecosystems when used with a buy now, pay later product, and that could benefit both online and in store.
Square is certainly betting a lot on this, Paul. This $29 billion deal offers a 30% premium to Afterpay. It is, I believe, Square's largest acquisition ever and the largest acquisition that Australia has ever seen. So what does this mean for consolidation in this space, and who might be next to gobble up a company like this?
Well, as far as the space goes, we've seen competitors come out with offerings in the buy now, pay later space, and they've taken them internationally. So if we look at PayPal, for example, which we also cover, their buy now, pay later product called Pay in 4, that product recently launched in Australia, and PayPal has over 400 million active accounts. It's a substantial scale. This goes up against the 70 million that Square reported. Afterpay offers them an international footprint with this buy now, pay later product, which does attract younger consumers, millennial, Gen Z, to transact without having to use traditional credit and everything, all the connotations associated with that, and engage in retail purchases. And Square also goes well beyond retail purchases. So this is an opportunity to leverage that functionality and that product in other verticals. But the competitive landscape for buy now, pay later has been fairly robust globally. And so this is part of why we believe and why we agree with management that that is an angle that makes sense as far as acquiring Afterpay and building it into the seller and Cash App interfaces.
How many more merchants do you think that Square can really bring on board with this new feature, especially because, merchants are the ones that do pay for this Afterpay? But as you mentioned, Afterpay essentially attached to some of those larger baskets that we are seeing when folks do their online shopping.
Well, what we know is that there are 16 million accounts that Afterpay has as far as engagement with consumers, and 100,000 merchants. And this is more of a leverage play for Square and the way that they've presented this, in so much as it brings the brand reputation and trust that Afterpay has and the footprint and the scale globally. And that can almost be a snowball effect of attracting incremental merchants that may not have necessarily been looking at Square, but with this tie-in and this funnel into Afterpay's reputation in buy now, pay later consumption, point of sale lending, it could be incentive for merchants to look at Square as an option.
I want to get back to that $29 billion buyout price, because some might say it's a little too hefty for Afterpay. What are your thoughts? Did Square get a fair deal here, do you think?
So we actually wrote that at this price, we think it does make sense. Shares for Afterpay had traded at those levels earlier this year. And for us to see Square jump in basically with one of the largest platforms globally, we think that there's added value in its ability to compete right off the bat with competitors like PayPal, at least in buy now, pay later, as opposed to the runway of internal development and brand building on a global scale.
All right, we're going to have to leave that there. Paul Golding, Macquarie Capital Senior Equity Research Analyst of U.S. Lifestyle and Payments. Thanks so much for joining us.